learning how to quilt the elegant, beautiful swirl chain design might be as easy as following the lines. Hey everybody, it's me, Angela Walters from quiltingismytherapy.com, and in this quick video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the training wheels fabric I designed for machine quilting success. Learning how to machine quilt takes practice, but if you don't know how the design goes together, it's really hard to practice it. And that's why I designed this fabric that I like to call training wheels for quilters. Not only is it beautiful, I mean, at least in my opinion, I've designed the elements in the fabric so that you can quilt right over those lines to learn how the design goes together. So for instance, in this fabric, we're learning the swirl chain design. Simply quilting along the lines of the design will help you learn how it goes together so you can practice more efficiently. I designed this fabric kind of as a companion to the Mastering Swirls Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along video series. In that video series, I'm going to show you how to quilt different swirl designs, and one of them is going to be the swirl chain. There are a couple other options as well. I have the same swirl chain in a light gray, and then this beautiful swirl and ribbon candy in the dark gray. The Training Wheels quilt kit includes the fabric for the top, as well as fabric for the backing, and binding. The idea is you can quilt along the lines of the fabric, and when you're done, you'll not only have a beautiful whole cloth quilt, you'll know how the swirl chain design goes together. So first things first, I'm gonna make a quilt sandwich using the backing, batting, and the fabric on the top. And you can base this quilt sandwich in any method you prefer. It could be pins, it could be basting spray, whatever it is that you already use. Or if you're quilting on a long arm quilting machine, go ahead and load the layers of your quilt on the machine. Well, once you have your quilt sandwich made, it's time to start quilting. The first thing I want to point out is that at one edge of the fabric, you can see the selvage with the letters on it. This is actually going to be the bottom of our quilt. Once I have that in place, I can start on the left side and start quilting along the lines of the design. It can be kind of hard to know exactly which line to start with. Just pick a line and start quilting along it. If you find yourself back at the edge of the fabric, just travel along and go to the next one and continue on. Sometimes you might find that you've left a section of lines unquilted. Once you're done with the row, you can just go back and fill those in. Now the purpose of these lines are to help you see how the design goes together. It is not meant for perfect quilting. I don't want you stressing out so much that you're trying really hard to keep it perfectly on that line. Instead, look ahead of the needle in the direction you're heading and trust your hands to bring you to it. Even if the quilting veers off that line a little bit, it's fine. Don't worry so much about perfect lines. Instead, focus on quilting them so that they're nice and smooth. When quilting the training wheels fabric on a sewing machine, you can change the orientation of the quilt so that it's easier for you to quilt. For instance, I prefer to quilt more in a back and forward motion, so I'm going to position my quilt so that I can do that. But if you prefer to quilt horizontally, you can do that as well. After you've quilted a couple of the swirls, you can go back and fill in between those rows with the designs of your choice. You can try a different filler or just echo around those swirl chains. And if you're quilting this on a long arm quilting machine, I've designed those swirls so that they run horizontal to your frame. And just like we're doing on the sewing machine, look ahead of the needle in the direction you're heading and trust your hands to bring you to it. The main idea is you want to quilt this whole fabric until it's all filled in. And like I said, when you're done, you'll be more confident with the swirl design and you'll have a beautiful whole cloth quilt to hang on your wall. So to learn more about this training wheels fabric or to see other options, check out the link in the description box below or visit quiltingismytherapy.com. And I'll be back soon with another video tutorial. Until then, everybody, happy quilting.